So, hello, Gemini, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racy, and I'm going to be giving the messages for you today. This is for those that are Gemini sun signs or those with significant or strong Gemini placements in their birth charts, right? This is for Gemini energy for the month of May. All right, for those of you not familiar with me or the channel, please know I have no filter. I don't sugarcoat my messages. I definitely just read how I read. So if that's not your thing, you got kids around, just don't appreciate those kinds of messages. I'm always really respectful of that, and I give you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, we are getting into these energies for May. I am using my Divine Masculine and Feminine Tarot. There are 4 decks in total that make up these 2 energies. One addresses masculine energy and one feminine energy, and then I'm using my Beyond Lemuria cards as guidance. Okay, so getting into the masculine energy, the headspace, the mind, the choices, the willpower, what is behind the behavior, right? Behind the actions, the mental state. Spirit, please. Where is Gemini's masculine energy for May? Where is Gemini's masculine energy for May? Give me one more. All right, we'll do 2 more. We have the 10 of coins, the 2 of coins in the reverse, the Fool, and the Hanged Man. Lots of 1s and 2s, right? Because the 10 breaks down to a 1, we got the 2, we have a 0, and then we have a 12. So you might be seeing synchronistic numbers with 1s and 2s, which are going to be telltale signs for you that this energy is at play if you start seeing them throughout the month of May. The 10 of coins, where your head is at, is on happy home, happy family, stability, focusing on the dream reality that you may be in. Interestingly, what comes after that with the 2 of coins in the reverse, which you're seeing it upright in the camera, it's the butterfly, right, with this infinity symbol and the 2 pentacles inside the loops. In the upright, this card is, and from this deck specifically, is about the balancing of the ideal and the realistic, right? The reality of things and the ideal of things. So being in the reverse like it is, you may truly have the ideal reality and may not be seeing it that way. You may be wondering when the universe is going to hit you on the head with the big fuck you stick. And what you really need is a shift in perspective that maybe you manifested this dream reality because you truly deserve it, and you don't need to be so afraid of something happening to ruin it or take it away, right? Maybe start seeing something better, that not only did you manifest a beautiful reality that is truly ideal for where you are right now, but that it will only get better, right? But that it will only get better instead of possibly fall apart. You know what I mean? Like, well, life can only be good for so long before shit hits the fan. And it's like, maybe that's the belief that needs to go. Maybe the shit isn't going to hit the fan. Maybe you're consistently improving, right? Maybe you've reached a point in your manifestation where you don't fall on your face or feel like your whole world's going to come collapsing down on your head. Maybe life is on your side, right? It's not life being against you. Maybe that's the way it used to be, where you felt like life was against you, but life is not against you right now. It's walking side by side with you. Your manifestation level, where you're at as far as what you're able to create in the reality, is where it is meant to be. I think there's a certain level of heart over head decisions that you're going to be needing to focus on. Because if you're of the mindset of, I'm waiting for it to fall apart, your actions might end up creating a scenario where that's possible. So listen to your heart on this. Your heart says you're safe. Your heart says you're complete. Your heart says that everything in your life is wonderful, right? And act from that alignment instead. Act from the heart space that says, my world is wonderful and I love it. And I'm going to continue treating it in that vibration of it's always going to be something that I love. Even if it shifts and changes, I'm still going to love it, right? I'm not going to be afraid of it falling apart, so that you can keep your own behavior in check. Because I think when you start, or if you start to doubt, right, the beauty of what you've created, that's when you actually lose the balance of it. So where is the heart space, please, Gemini? Where is the heart space, please? The receptive energy, the feelings, the intuition for Gemini. Where is the divine feminine energy? Why are there these lingering feelings of everything wonderful falling apart? What is going on in the heart space? That's where the thoughts are. What's on the subconscious that needs to heal? The Queen of Cups, pouring all of your love into something and then feeling like you were robbed of it. All right, so maybe Gemini, in the past, you have poured all of your love into something and thought that you were happy, right? That you were living the dream and you were putting all your love into something only to feel deceived or be deceived and lose it, right? That was what happened in the past. That is why you have these doubts now and you're waiting for shit to hit the fan. And maybe there's a part of you that's confused and still feels like that dream is out there somewhere, right? But that too is a deception. The Seven of Swords came out twice. And the Seven of Cups. So we got 777. We got 777. So you might be seeing a lot of number patterns in the month of May, right? With the Seven of Swords flanking the Seven of Cups, that you have a Seven of Swords on either side of it, your confusion comes from your own deception. I think for all the love energy that you've put out there and poured out there for other people, that you felt denied of it and robbed of it when it didn't work out, that you felt maybe life deceived you. I think you're failing to realize that the universe is cashing in on all the love you gave and returning it to you now, like in a lump sum. Maybe you poured out love for many, many years to many different people, to many different circumstances or situations or relationships, and constantly felt like it fell apart under your feet. Like no matter how much love you gave, it never worked out. And so now the universe is like, all that love you put out there, we're returning it back to you. So don't be confused. You know, you'd be literally robbing yourself at this point. Thinking that it's all going to fall apart, or waiting for shit to hit the fan, waiting for things to go sideways, waiting for something beautiful to be ruined. I think that's just old memory. And staying in that old vibration will manifest and repeat old cycles that just don't need to repeat. I think whatever you have right now, if you look at it as a blessing and treat it like a blessing, it's going to remain a blessing. I think your heart is confused over how things didn't work out in the past when you gave your all, to where maybe even right now you could be giving more and you're not giving your all simply because you're afraid if you give your all, it's going to fall apart and become a distant dream, right? An old memory of what coulda, shoulda, woulda been. I don't think you need to hold yourself back. I think you're afraid. I think you're afraid of letting your whole self out. Letting all your love out. How are you deceiving yourself by not giving your best? How are you holding back because you're afraid of getting hurt because of past deceptions or things from your past that maybe you felt were real when you were deceived, and then was like, well, then it was a lie, right? Then it was a lie. If it wasn't real then, it's not real now. Especially if you're dealing with strong Cancerian energy, Piscean energy, or Arian energy. It might be the Uranus placement going on in May that could be bringing these things up for you about the reality. How are you deceiving yourself? By being confused over either the love you're receiving, as the way I'm hearing it. How are you confused over the love you're receiving and afraid it's going to go away? Why do you think this love or this happy reality is temporary? Why are you waiting for the shit to hit the fan like you're going to lose your dream reality? Can you forgive it? Right? Can you forgive your past that taught you that everything you ever wanted falls apart and leaves? When the universe has returned to you all of the love, all of the appreciation, the gratitude, the overflow for all that you've lost. Because it's not about focusing on the loss. Otherwise, you end up losing, right? It's not about focusing on the loss. It's about focusing on all that was gained from losses, quote unquote losses. Focus on all that was gained. If you lost this person, lost that for a time, lost this and that experience, whatever, how did you and others grow from it, right? Was it really a loss then? Or was it a growth opportunity that took place and now you're receiving all that comes along with your growth, your higher elevation, right? Your higher vibes. Allow the love to flow in. Allow yourself to be nurtured by the current reality. Allow yourself to feel nurtured by the current reality, not just to be nurtured by it, but to actually feel nurtured by it. That your reality is literally like a warm hug to your soul. You're not going to lose the arms that love you. I don't know why those specific words just came out. You're not going to lose the arms that love you. Don't be afraid that the universe is going to take away your dream, your actual dream reality. Don't think it is not the dream come true when it is. You don't need to focus on fear of loss, fear of being deceived, like you have to sleep with one eye open kind of thing. That you have to pay super close attention to every little detail. Like if you're looking for specific things, you're going to find specific things. It doesn't mean they matter. Like if you're looking for something to get upset about, you'll find it because you're looking. Doesn't mean there's actually things for you to be upset about. It means now you're nitpicking and finding excuses to sabotage, right? Feel super blessed. 777, like you are not being deceived. You're lucky as shit. You're blessed as all hell. It would be a lie to the self if you're confused about that. You've grown a lot. You deserve to feel blessed. You deserve to receive the dream reality, right? All right. Guidance, please, for Gemini for the month of May. What guidance, Spirit, please, would you have for Gemini for the month of May? Lumen Essence and Manifestia. Cards 35 and 36. That's cool. So we're going to read some from here. All right. Card number 35. It says, self-love, the light that radiates from our hearts, light shining in the darkness, heart-centered living, removing your heart's armor, accepting your shadow as the flip side of your strengths. A vulnerable, wide open heart, authentic, heartfelt needs. When we choose to journey through life from our hearts, it illuminates the darkness. All illusion drops away, and we see what is real. That's what I started talking about, right? Heart over head decisions, living from your heart instead. It says, what does self-love look like for you? Self-love is often talked about, but we don't always consider its deeper implications. One of the keys for bringing heaven to earth is the realization of our optimal reality. To create a new earth, not dissimilar to the Lemurian utopia, we navigate or illuminate our journey through our hearts. When our core foundations are integrity and kindness, our choices are ethical, and our souls radiate warmth, hold compassionate space for others, and inspire others to carry it forward. Unfortunately, as we travel through life, we often armor ourselves to protect our hearts. We fear them to be delicate and vulnerable, but this is contrary to the incredible power of having a fully open heart. Sadly, we can toss parts of ourselves in the trash because we cannot see how they serve us, or they may feel too ugly or painful. Loving yourself is about accepting all of yourself, including the parts you may consider less desirable. Self-love is unconditional. As we make the journey to wholeness, we see that the parts we have severed from ourselves are counterparts to our greatest strengths. Remember, your internal world reflects your outer reality. If you are met by less than ideal dynamics, they may hold a clue to your unloved parts. You know, if other people have strayed from you in the past, for example, if people that you loved have strayed from you in the past, how in the past were you straying from yourself? Were you not honoring your relationship with that person, right? If we're talking about relationship dynamics. If your job ended up severing your time there, right, and you got fired, how are you not honoring your job that you got fired, right? It's the same thing. If you were not honoring a relationship, whether or not it was known or not, the truth of the matter is your vibration was such that it pushed it out of your experience, right? This is about knowing where your alignment is, where your consideration is, where you do not fall short, right? Where your own personal desires in a moment override what you want as a desire for the long term of your life. If you want long-term stability with a relationship, then nothing you would do in any given moment takes priority over that long-term desire, especially if that in-the-moment decision were to jeopardize your long-term desire. Loving yourself means embracing the long-term desire because you deserve it. You deserve it. There's more important things than instant gratification, right? This is understanding your heart's vibration. Where is your love flowing? Is it flowing to yourself as an individual who is solo? Because solo equals alone. Or is it flowing to something that incorporates other people, right? Is your heart space flowing in what it's doing for more purpose than just yourself, right? Are you napping because you're tired and you don't want to deal with anybody? Or are you napping because you're tired and you need your best energy for everybody that you love, right? Understand where the intention is, because the act of taking a rest is the same. The vibration from which that rest manifests from is what's different, right? If there were things that you did in the past that didn't manifest the outcome that you wanted, Know that you're being given an opportunity to love those parts of yourself that made mistakes, because it taught you what you don't want to do, because it taught you what it manifested, and you don't want to manifest it again, right? Whatever you did in the past that created a negative outcome, you don't have to do that now, and you won't create that outcome, right? So Manifestia, card number 36. It says, manifestation, sowing the seeds of your dreams, creating your reality, trusting what you desire is already happening, magic making, pollinating your wishes, as above, so below. You can decide how you want to live. The universe is in full support of you choosing to step into the optimal version of yourself. Dream big, and then dream bigger. Now is a great time to start the projects you have been considering. All it takes is some pollination. In the realms of making magic happen, we say, as above and so below. So start planting your dream seeds and nourish the soil with enthusiasm for what can and will be. Feel your dream in its entirety as if it is already happening, and then let it go. Let all sense of control or direction go. Do not try to manage it or feel you need to. Feel how beautiful your dream's fruition will be, but then leave it alone to flourish as it will. Any sense of desperation or neediness will only falter its progress, although the lessons gained as a result of this will bring growth depending on what you are ready for. Germinate your dream seeds in the present tense with positive terminology. Rather than thinking in terms of what you don't want, focus on what you do want as if you already have it, as the subconscious will hear the keywords and bring you more of this. Be creative with your dream visioning. Create symbols from the letters that make up your wish sentence. Incorporate the natural elements that resonate with your manifestation, such as the fire or earth. Find meaningful symbols that align with your desired outcome. Add a rush of energy and charge it with an intention for the greatest good of all. In meditation, send them off into the heart space of the ether and turn the physical, and meanwhile, the physical soil will turn in real time. Do the necessary preparation and relax into the knowledge that with your intention that this is enough. If you intend to manifest the dream and that is your focus, that is what you will create. Focus on the long-term dream, right? It's not about instant gratification. It's not about what seals things in a moment. It's about what creates the long term. Right? It's about what creates the long term. You might have a routine, right? You might have a routine that is detrimental, right? Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe it's something that's not necessarily healthy, right? Whether it's physically unhealthy, psychologically unhealthy, mentally or emotionally unhealthy, because every time you do it, it creates stress because you wonder what someone thinks of you for doing it or being it or in whatever. Shift out of that then. If there's too much worry associated with that behavior, you're allowed to choose to remove the worry from yourself. If you have a pattern in relationships, right, and you continuously do the same thing and it continuously yields the same result, then you can simply choose something else. You can choose to not do that and focus on what you have instead of what you need, right? Focus on what's in front of you growing instead of focusing on more. Right? More in a moment. Maybe all that you have is beautiful and blessed. And there's no need to ruin it with the confusion. There's no need to ruin it with lying to yourself and thinking that it's going to get swept away from you or taken from you. Maybe what you have is beautiful and uniquely yours right now. And any behavior that would sabotage it, that would literally steal it away from you, you have to understand it's self-created. It's self-created. So if it's self-created, then it can also be not created, right? The self cannot create it. Think about what it is you want to create. What dream do you want realized? And then trust, as long as you stay focused on that being your highest priority, your long-term dream, that's what will manifest, because that's what you prioritize, right? If you dream your whole life with someone, then simply appreciate the beauty of them being in your life and hold that gratitude for them in your mind, because that's what's going to come forward in your actions. Don't be afraid. You don't need to be afraid of loss. Beautiful vibrations, right? Beautiful vibrations. What you manifested is beautiful. What you have right now is beautiful. If the past is over and your present right now is not your past, and it doesn't need to be your future. So I hope that helps, Gemini. I hope that helps. Until next time, this is Divine Rebel Racy signing out. Remember always to love each other, and most importantly, love yourselves. Bye, guys.